I'm Ted. I use he, him pronouns. I'm organized with the DSA and Jewish Voice for Peace here in Long Beach. I'm honored to be in solidarity with the LGBTQ community here today. And now more than ever, we need to stick together to protect one another against fascism in California, USA, and around the world. I'd like to take this opportunity to stress that our collective liberation, the liberation of all of us, is inherently linked to the liberation of the Palestinian people. And I'd particularly like to call attention to the mischaracterization and weaponization of the concept of anti-Semitism that's being used to attack, discredit, and now even abduct those of us who are calling for an end to the genocide in Palestine. For a personal background, I'm the child of interfaith parents who raised my sister and me Jewish. As early as second grade in Sunday Hebrew school, I remember learning about the Holocaust and how the Nazis used propaganda, like we're seeing today, to dehumanize Jews and other undesirable people. Later, I was taught Zionist narratives about the unreasonable Palestinians who inexplicably rejected peace every time Israel tried to make a deal with them. I began to question the Zionist histories and didn't receive sufficient responses from my teachers, which caused me to further question Zionism. Now I understand Israel to be an apartheid-based ethno-state. This is not what we stand for as Americans. We stand for democracy. When Israel bombed Gaza in 2014, I went to my first Free Palestine rally. I got pushback from Zionist friends and family, both Jewish and non-Jewish, along with accusations that I and the people I was marching with were anti-Semitic. I believed that many of those accusations were based on ignorance and a lack of recognition of Palestinian humanity in Western media. During the Israeli bombing campaign of Gaza in 2021, I read an Anti-Defamation League study that claimed to have found a rise in anti-Semitism online. I read their methodology and saw that they considered anti-Zionist and pro-Palestinian language to be hateful towards Jews, which I understood to be untrue. At that point, I realized that many of the anti-Semitism accusers are cynical. They do not intend to shed light and protect folks from anti-Semitism. Their primary goal is to use the concept as a smokescreen to shut down any criticism of the Israeli state and its use of violence. I found this particularly offensive given that real anti-Semitism, like Islamophobia, like transphobia, like xenophobia, like anti-black racism, and other scapegoating actually is being used to divide us, to draw our attention away from the real structural roots of our problem: capitalism, inequality, and oligarchy. While the Biden administration insisted on greenlighting the genocide in the occupied Palestinian territories, many of us were out here on campuses protesting, and many of us were brutally repressed. While the Harris-Walz campaign chose to ignore poll after poll showing that a majority of Americans and an overwhelming majority of Democratic constituents wanted an arms embargo on Israel, many of us were out here trying to speak truth to power, and we were ignored. Now, as the Trump administration continues to support imperialist ethnic cleansing abroad and is beginning to ramp up political persecution at home, we will continue to fight for justice. But now more than ever, we have to do it together. At the time when the Trump administration is attempting to violently erase the visibility of the LGBTQ community, in particular our trans comrades, neighbors, friends, and family, at a time when the state is increasing violence by ICE and Homeland Security towards those of us who don't have certain pieces of state-issued paper, at a time when our comrades are being abducted from their homes for their political views, we need solidarity more than ever. So let's call out false accusations of anti-Semitism. Let's remember that no human is illegal. Let's remember gender has no borders. And let's demand the release of Mahmoud Khalil. From Palestine to Mexico. Border walls have got to go. From Palestine to the Philippines. And the U.S. war machine. Thank you.